Hello, everyone. Bree here. Today I wanted to make a video after doing some, endless amounts of research on my astrology chart. There's just always more to know about your natal chart, about yourself. So after doing some research, I decided, hey, there might be some people out there like me who want to know a little more about an aspect in the chart called the ascendant or rising sign. So those are the same thing, ascendant sign, rising sign, and then more specifically, what it means to have a ascendant sign in Scorpio, which is, hello, hi, ascendant sign Scorpio here. So I just wanted to start off, maybe there might be some of you who have heard of it, don't know what it is, know exactly what it is. So just to level set, the ascendant or rising sign technically is where the what zodiac sign the sun was rising in on the eastern horizon at the moment of your birth. So in order to get this sign and have it, be accurate, you actually have to know the exact time down to the minute that you were born. Thankfully, I do. My loving mother has all the information from my birth recorded along with my twin brother. So you do need to know that. There can be some guesstimation if you don't know the exact time of your birth, if you know it was in the morning, and sometimes the signs can stay the same between like midnight and noon, but there sometimes can be a change there. It's helpful to know the time of your birth to get the most accurate reading. So I'll just say that for the ascendant or rising sign. So that's technically what it is. What it means in general is, to me, the rising sign is, if you think about when the sun rises, right? Everything was dark, and then the sun comes up and it lights up everything. You can immediately, in your face, nothing's hidden, nothing's in the dark. You can see exactly, what everything looks like and how it appears. That to me is very symbolic of the rising sign and the ascendant sign, because it is indeed what you project to others immediately. So they may not know you on an intimate level or emotional level or be close to you, but it is what you project to others immediately. In Western society, when someone says, "Oh, what's your sign?" Typically that is the sun sign. But in Eastern and ancient astrology, they actually believed that the rising sign was more indicative of your personality and how people would see you and the first impression they would get of you, and how you interact on your day-to-day life in the world. So knowing that, it's the sun sign, all of the astrological components tell us and paint us a really specific picture of how we are and how we operate in day-to-day life in our human lives. But the rising sign is one that is indicative of your personality, of the way that others will see you. So that's just a little about what it means. And I did write some notes down for myself. So if you see me looking down, I'm just kind of looking at my notes, because there's a lot of information available online, as always, about astrology. Specifically, if you Google ascendant sign or rising sign, and whatever yours is, if you have that calculated, lots and lots of free information online. But this is a quick video about specifically the Scorpio rising sign. So if you want some more information, obviously you watch this vid. So what does it mean to have a ascendant or rising sign in Scorpio? So as you may or may not know, Scorpio is in the 8th house. So, there's houses in astrology. So that doesn't mean anything to you. You can look it up, but so I won't go in depth on the houses, but it is in the 8th house, which, in numerology, life path, or the number 8 symbolizes like abundance, things to do with money, finances, materialistic kind of physical desires. And there's definitely that element in the Scorpio rising sign of wanting that material comfort, having those material desires, whether it be money or, home, creating a good home environment. So there's usually that element there of having that material desire. So maybe stronger than some other signs that, you know, have different rising signs. So that's just one tiny element of having a Scorpio rising sign. And I can say from personal experience that yes, those things are very important to me. But, you know, Scorpios as a sign, especially Scorpio rising, we are very, very intuitive and in tune with this inner world and like the deeper undercurrents of life, and very intuitive. We're a water sign. We have this emotional depth to us, very instinctual. So that automatically leads to an inclination to spirituality in some way, shape, or form. So with Scorpio being an 8th house sign, you know, balancing that material desire and the spiritual inclination, sometimes they go hand in hand, sometimes they don't, and one outweighs the other. So, you know, somebody who might come off as like always looking to have like the best, nicest thing, and if you find out they have a Scorpio rising, they may have a little, you know, heavy hand on, you know, their material desire and maybe ignoring and their lackings in some spiritual way, that spiritual depth and that spiritual fulfillment. Not necessarily, but usually there's a nice balance, and you can tell the Scorpio risings who have the balance, and then some of those who don't. So also Scorpio being the water sign, as we said, is Scorpio rising people come across as they're just very like magnetic. And, you know, this video is not to boast about myself, but I'll just say that, you know, I have been told that. And when I do meet other people who I find out have a Scorpio rising, they're very like that. They're magnetic. They're passionate. So it's like this passion comes across, whether it's like, you know, emotionally passionate or just really interested and excitable. And the hands down, that's exactly, you know, how I operate my day-to-day life. If someone's telling me a story and they're passionate about it, it might not even be something that I'm passionate about, but if they're passionate about it, I'm like in it. Oh my God, that's so exciting. Oh my God, we need to tell everybody. Oh my God, let's make a plan. Let's make a list. You know, so very passionate, determined, and may not be super, you know, the Scorpios can be either way. They can be quiet and reserved, just, you know, an introvert, or they can be an outgoing, extroverted, you know, happy person. And I would say I'm definitely the latter. And I think there's a stereotype with Scorpio, the sign in general, you know, that they're broody and mysterious and you know, will sting you. And while I won't disagree that that is definitely like a part of who I am. But with all the signs, there's, you know, the dark and the light and the hot and the cold, with all signs. And it can vary from day to day. So I know when a lot of people meet me and they find out I'm a Scorpio rising and a Scorpio sun, both. So when they find that out, they're like, you're not like other Scorpios. And it's like, well, I don't know how many Scorpios you know, but I've met Scorpios that are like me, and I've also met Scorpios that are, you know, don't appear to be exactly like me. But the thing is that what's really going on with us, and like what people, if they were going to describe us, aside from saying, oh, they're quiet or they're outgoing, they'd say like, yeah, they're intense. So that's a word that a lot of people use with Scorpios, and especially with Scorpio rising people. Yeah, they're intense. Like whether it's like, oh my God, like back up, like you have so much energy, or like, oh man, like what are they thinking about? You know, they're just sitting over there, like you can tell they're just like in this intense moment and they're really like in it. And so intense is another word that I know a lot of people have used to describe like Scorpio in general, sun rising. And I mentioned this before, but you know, being very intuitive. So being a water sign, Scorpio rising people can just, they can just see right through you. They can see right through you. You know, not that they're judging, but they will immediately know and have this gut reaction about whether or not you're good for them. if they're in tune with themselves and they're being honest with themselves. And you know, there's ego and there's all this other stuff going on. But if they can be honest with themselves and they're a balanced, human being, they can see right through you and know from a gut instinct level, are you good for them? How you'll mesh with them? Are you being honest? Scorpio risings are like known for being like the human lie detectors. There's lots of like detectives, private detectives who have Scorpio rising signs, or lots of Scorpio in their chart anyway, because Scorpio is just that like cut to your core, I already know you, maybe better than you know yourself kind of energy, and just knowing when people are being honest and upfront. So, with that intuition and with that passion, so if you can take those two, large parts, intuition and passion for a Scorpio rising person, those together create this really awesome, what's the word, capacity for change and transformation. So, obviously there's other aspects in our chart that can, influence this, these aspects, but as a whole, Scorpio rising, they have this intense need to like follow that intuition and follow that gut instinct, and then have that passion behind it. So change is like a big thing. Like Scorpio risings, people, if you know someone in your life who like, they say they, worked this job for 5 years, they lived in this place all their life, and all of a sudden they were like, I totally different job, I moved across this, country. Me, I actually did that. But if you know anybody like that, where they just make these dramatic changes and then like they seem like they're fine, like they're totally living life, there wasn't really that hard, they don't find them complaining about it. That's a lot to do with Scorpio rising. There's a passion, determination, and intuition about knowing what is going to be right for you, and then like really sticking to it. That passion helps you like really stick to it. And so I think it's great, having a capacity for change. Can there be, I don't want to just give all this like positive stuff about Scorpio rising, because obviously, like we said, there's the light and the dark there. So sometimes, having all that passion and not being in tune and balanced and in touch with yourself, sometimes it can lead you to some dark places. There's a lot of Scorpio rising and even Scorpio sun people that often they don't know what to do with all that passion, or they're afraid to follow that instinct and that intuition in their heart, and they will, quote unquote, self-medicate, do drugs, alcohol, other things like that, to kind of like try and deal with that energy or drown that, that voice out from their heart, because, of fear, which all of us have it. It's all there. It's just, fear, what was it? I think Paulo Coelho said, there's nothing wrong with fear itself. It's being paralyzed by fear that causes problems. So, all of us are afraid. But Scorpio risings, like I said, there's the light and the dark. So they can be led to some dark places if their energy isn't in the right place, if they have a lot of fear going on that they haven't acknowledged and dealt with. But overall, transformation, change, passion, are just like the really big things that stick out for me about Scorpio rising. And like I said, a lot of these myself, I can personally identify with, and I do have a twin brother. So we have the same rising, the same sun, and we are very different, from the whole say the hot, cold, and being extroverted, introverted, but there's an underlying theme about being passionate about whatever we do, just being really intuitive about what is good for us, what we know is going to make us happy, people that we just, I don't trust you, like, or, and just knowing that immediately, very similar. So yeah, I think that, and there was another thing about relationships. Scorpios are known to be, very sensual and sexual, emit that kind of energy. And while I can identify with that, I think that it has a lot to do with the passion and the intuition. So we're naturally drawn to people that we're drawn to. So vice versa. Those people are normally drawn to us as well. You're not going to be immediately drawn to someone that you know doesn't like you or doesn't mesh well with you. So we naturally gravitate to those people who we feel will gel with our, you know, our passion or, you know, need for realness and honesty. So those people are attracted to us as well. But in relationships, Scorpios are known for being intensely loyal. So like, it's like all or nothing. Once you keep your wall up for a little bit and you're like, oh, you know, surface, hi, okay, cool. But if you let someone in your heart and you start loving them, Scorpio rising, it's done, it's over. You're there till the end, like until they do something really bad, or maybe they don't. But Scorpios are known for being intensely loyal in relationships, and that theme stays constant with the Scorpio rising. And, you know, I did some research, you know, to see, okay, you know, I know how I've lived my life as a Scorpio rising. I've read, heard, talked to people to say that like a lot of Scorpio risings, for some reason, we attract like, you know, statistically, quote unquote, attractive partners that are stable, not like flighty and dangerous and risky. We have all that ourselves. We got that passion, we got the need for change. So we're already like, you know, go, 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 and change, change, change. So we like those, you know, really attractive, stable, comfortable, even partners typically. So that's just a little about Scorpio rising. I hope you liked the video. If you did, like it, subscribe to my channel. Share it with your friends, and if you do have any questions, obviously put those below, or you can send me a message via my website at briannacolombini.com, and there's lots of other good information there as well. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and until next time, I will check you later. Bye-bye.